This is the Seoul Podcast, Korea's third sex. I'm Kim Sejong, reminding you that there is no I in Korea and no F in Hangul. And here are your hosts, Emma Kalka and Joe McPherson.
And welcome to the Seoul Podcast. This is Joe.
And I'm Emma.
This week we have a guest I've been wanting to get on for a long time. Legendary expat artist, Brittany Fanning. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your energy. That's great.
I'm working on it.
We are working on it. We are in classic Seoul Podcast fashion. We each have a drink of the week. I wish I had Stafford's old drop. What are you drinking, Emma?
Hogarden that somebody left at my house this weekend.
Does it have cigarette butts in it?
No. It was
College.
left in
You
the
always
fridge
had to check for cigarette
unopened.
butts in your beer.
It was left in the fridge unopened, so there was nothing inside of it except for beer.
Okay, Hogarden. Brittany, you look like you're drinking something a little more sophisticated.
Oh, it's white wine with ice in it from 7-Eleven.
That is classic.
I didn't have enough time to chill it.
Emma is the expert of convenience store wine. She is.
You always got to put that ice in there if it's not chilled yet.
I'm being a little snobby, and I'm doing a little bit of Playground Gentleman Lager because they didn't have my session IPA available today. I haven't been drinking in a long time. It tastes like malt syrup to me. It's really sweet, but it's not bad. It's just really sweet.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's
How long
malty.
did you go without drinking?
Huh?
How long did you go without drinking?
Over a year. Like
What
a
did you
year
do
and
instead?
then some. And just to see how long I could do it. And it was difficult the entire way. I was having bad cravings every now and then, but now it's like now when I drink, it doesn't feel the same. I don't feel drunk. It tastes different. Because now I can taste the alcohol and stuff, and it tastes kind of harsh. So it makes me sip. Sip. Because in the old days, before I stopped, it's like, oh, a new glass of beer. Oh, it's empty. Oh, I should get another one.
Yeah. Down them. That's kind of what I did. I kind of slowed down last year to quit smoking and then just stopped drinking for the most part. It's really boring. I feel like the most boring person now. I don't know what to say.
And when we chose the pandemic to stop drinking. We bucked the trend. We're just
Well, you have to. Otherwise,
everyone else is doing it. I mean, my God. I mean, Honsul, the lone drinking has gotten so big this year. And this whole convenience store system where you can order booze online and pick it up at your convenience store.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the system because, it's a Korean app. And anything that involves one thing is a Korean app. And then anything that involves transactions, it's just layers and layers and layers of let's make this thing as complicated as possible.
Yeah, you have to have the number card, and then you have to put your phone number in twice. And
and now they have the app Pass app that you should try to connect it to.
I've tried. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, I got Pass to work, but sometimes Pass breaks.
I can't even get the QR
That's
code.
true.
Yeah, the QR code. Sometimes it breaks. It doesn't work.
I just sign in sometimes. Phone number.
So those listening who are not in Korea, this is how you enter restaurants and public places. You have to scan a QR code identity from your phone from an app, either through Kakao or this new app called Pass, which is used as your just identification.
I forgot you could use Pass for that because Pass is connected to KT, which is what my phone account is through. So like all my phone stuff is connected to Pass. So I've been using Pass for my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Completely forgot I could be using it for QR stuff. But Kakao Talk is just faster and easier to get to.
They're both, to me, they're both slow. Every time I need it, it's just hangs. Nonetheless, I think it's a clever solution. I like the idea of having my entire identity in one code and waiting for the apocalypse, because I think it's a sign, one of the breakings of the seals in Revelations.
It looks like the apocalypse outside today.
Oh my God! Today,
yes.
good.
I didn't know it was
Wow,
that.
she does segues. She does segues. That's great. That was awesome.
That was a good
I'm bored with
segue.
QR codes. I don't have one, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah. The dust was. I'm trying to think of the last time I saw the dust this bad.
It was a few weeks ago, but yeah, I mean, well, no, this was the worst. And I sat outside all day because we went to Fat Boys for Thomas's birthday, and then yeah, we just sat outside drinking.
And who pray is Thomas for everyone?
Oh, the Fat Boy sandwich guy.
Oh, it's Thomas Reed's birthday.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I don't know how anyone else knows him.
Okay.
I was actually, when I was telling him we were coming to Fat Boy, I posted that on Facebook, and I got flagged and warned on Facebook for using Fat Boy.
Oh man.
Crazy.
Wow.
So sensitive.
I'm scared. Dark
You can't
side.
fat shame anymore.
The dark side page, the Dark Side of Soul page got we got restricted for a month.
For what?
For posting a meme that the Jeffrey Dahmer meme.
Where he was like eating a burger.
Yeah, eating a burger that says this doesn't taste like Five Guys.
Oh. Facebook.
Yeah, we got in trouble. We couldn't advertise or anything for a month.
No.
I wonder who
You know what?
that is.
By that
Who's
time, I
behind
figured
that?
out ways to promote the podcast without advertising. So Facebook, your loss. Yay!
It's all,
There you go.
Facebook's just like, it's helpful, but at this point, it's like old family members of mine and people that live in my town that like update their Facebook like when they're going to the doctor and like I don't know, like messages to their family, prayers and stuff. I hate it.
Yeah, it's thoughts and prayers. So anyway, oh no, I want to talk about you. I want to talk about your art. I'm a big fan of your art. You have a really interesting color palette, I think. How would you describe your color palette? Do you even think about it?
I'm kind of inspired by like Wes Anderson and David
Yes,
Hockney.
it does look like Wes Anderson. Oh my God.
So it's like if Quentin Tarantino had colors like Wes Anderson, and then some David Hockney in there playing crashes and stuff.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna
chaos.
share screen, and I'm gonna show some of the photos that I've gotten, and you don't even know what photos I selected of yours.
No.
Here we go. I got this one.
Oh wait, maybe I can. Nope.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. This is the shot. No, for someone listening to the audio version, so I'll describe it. This is Haebangchun.
Yeah.
The street of Haebangchun facing the Seoul Tower.
I got bored with this series real fast.
But I like this. This is the series this is the series that you got popular with, I think.
I know, but the Koreans that I've met, like in the art community, they're like, "What is this? Do you only paint poor places?" And I was like,
"Oh God, they're so snobby."
I don't know. They're like, "We want to see what you like," and I was like, "Okay." I like burning people alive.
Oh well, here, let me get to that. Hold on.
Plane crashes. I don't know. I do have it. That's how my husband and I kind of bonded.
There we go. Love that shot.
Yeah, that was based on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of exactly.
So they're burning hippies, but I tell everyone they can choose the victim.
Interactive art.
My newest one, it's a similar scene, but it's a child's float in the pool.
Oh my God.
Okay. Sorry, we're not going to show that
I know
one on
you
the
have
show.
children. You have your daughter. I'm not a fan. I like some kids, but yeah.
I understand. I
I don't.
I really like this post. I really do love this. I would love.
That's
It's kind of like I want to open a bar just to have this in my bar.
yeah. This is the one that Tom Segura and his wife own.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
It was kind of inspired by them because they wear a lot of Adidas and they kind of look a little bit like Paul and me, but fatter.
Yeah, and they burn hippies in the pool.
Yeah.
I could even imagine the furniture I would purchase for a bar that would showcase these paintings. Like I'm thinking of some colorful plush lounge furniture,
Plush.
sofas,
Yeah.
weird chairs in the shapes of lips and hearts.
Oh, jeez. That's not what I saw.
Well, I'm weird. But it would be this color palette of this violet maroon.
It's kind of Palm Springs inspired.
It
David
is.
Very much.
Love it. Going back. Okay, this is another poor place, but I love it. I'm sorry. This is one that you showed a lot on your website. I remember.
I post way too much.
This is Gyeonggi-dun. It looks like.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Oh my
that's right near my
gosh,
house.
I'm so good at this. Okay, where's Emma's house? Where's Emma's house? In here.
Because like where you're standing right now, like the church would be behind you, and there's that little alleyway, that street that goes up the hill next to the church. My house is at the top of that hill.
Really? I didn't know you.
Yeah,
lived
so I
there. Well, that's a nice place.
Thank you for directing us to your house, Emma.
There's
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot of
maybe
houses
don't
on the
do
top of
that.
the. There's a lot of houses on the top of the hill.
I should also point out that Brittany started the group True Crime Asia on Facebook.
Which I love.
I need to be more active on there, or more murders need to happen. I was excited about the
It is an
one.
active group, and I'm not. Okay, let me tell you my background of true crime. My love-hate relationship with true crime. I think I mentioned this is my previous marriage.
We've talked about this before.
We talked about it on the show. Well, I'll talk
Yeah.
about it again.
Yeah.
My previous marriage. My wife was really into true crime, and I finally got us a computer and internet in 1998. 97, 98. Yeah. I remember that. And the computer was in our bedroom. And she discovered that she started getting into the internet. She's discovered it. And I taught her how to use the printer and everything. And suddenly our room was plastered with missing children's photos.
Oh.
And she would just spend all night just researching the stuff. And then some nights I'm reading in bed and she's on the computer, and then she'll get up and she'll take a picture off the wall and throw it away. And she goes, "Oh, what happened?" And I go, "Oh, they found her. She's dead." Like this child's face I had becoming accustomed to this whole time.
Yeah. That's
So
rough.
I'm kind of like, and then she ended up becoming a police officer.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah, and now she's she's a hardcore Muslim, and I think she wants to move to Syria.
What the fuck?
Now that was a twist you didn't share last time we talked about this. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
she changed her name to Muslim
Wow.
name, and she wears a hijab, and I mean she's cool now. I mean she's coming to terms with her issues, and she wants to write a book about her mental issues and wants me to contribute a chapter on how it affected me. I'm like, yeah, that's great.
As someone who doesn't read books, that one sounds really fun.
Out of everything we all do, that actually might be the biggest seller out of everything we do. It would be my ex-wife's book on her mental issues.
Oh no.
Okay, tell me about this one. I see this one a lot when you post stuff. I love this one.
That is Doug Stanhope. He's one of my favorite. He's been my favorite comedian for over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
He's really well. He might be controversial if more people knew him, but he's pretty rough. And then he's drinking a vodka soda, and the meal on the table is John Wayne Gacy's last meal.
wow.
I have a cat
Everyone,
named-
so you see Brittany's oov right here. This is what she does. And I see like a falcon right there, or a hawk right there.
That's I think his name's Mordecai from the Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh my god! I remember Mordecai. I remember that. Oh my god!
Yeah. I honestly, I think I had like a dream about a hawk wearing a hat, and then I just wanted to paint one.
Oh my god!
I don't know why they wear them.
I love how the perspective's kind of skewed a bit, so it pulls you in.
Well, thank you.
And of course, it's food. Food. I love the food. I love it. It does feel obviously Wes Anderson, but it has that Tarantino type of feel to it.
Thank you.
Also a little bit of Raising Arizona to me.
Oh yeah.
I feel I love the I mean, I'm looking at all these little things. I mean, you were, I can tell that you were having some fun doing the patterns in the wood.
Yeah, that's in most of my work.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. I mean, and trying to incorporate those patterns with the shadows, that's tough.
Thank you.
I'm not a painter, but I'm sure it's tough.
Me neither.
That one was a lot of fun.
I really love that. I just love it. It's just one of those paintings you just stare at.
This was the first one I did after the architecture series. It was kind of more for me, like a little bit darker.
Oh, that's why I saw it. Oh.
Yeah, and then the other one was the second.
Hold on, let me pull. I love. Okay, this is classic.
This one was a commission.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the person who commissioned it lives in that house in the front, the main house, in the front right corner.
I noticed you draw a lot of sunsets because I can tell the light's coming from the west.
Yeah. I hate doing these now. All of these little small buildings. I'm working on one now. It's just really hard painting all this. It's hard painting anything I don't want to paint now that
Now you're doing commissions?
Yeah, I do like one commission a month or so.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly I just paint what I want. And
you drew a cat for me.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now if people ask for pet portraits, I'm like, last year I was begging for them.
Okay, I got more of this. Okay, so I got more of your architecture series.
Rear window.
It's fun. All right, that's all I got. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. How do I stop sharing my screen? Stop share. There we go. We're just
stuck like this for the rest of the podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
Hooray.
So now you got an idea of you have almost like a I don't know how to say it. It's a fruity neon soup stained palette. How about that?
That works. I do use a lot of neons.
It is. It's neon-y, but it does have that garish California look. I mean, you could not paint New York.
I grew up in Florida.
Florida.
That's where it's from.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense now. And like, it makes me think of like the stuff that I saw like on the walls of like the rental house we had in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May I ask? Okay, let me place you. Let me place you then. Where in Florida?
The worst place.
Orlando?
Worser.
Tallahassee?
Way worser. Jacksonville.
Oh God. I lived a year in Jacksonville. Oh, I did a contract in Jacksonville. I told the story. I told the story of my time in Jacksonville, right? Oh my God, Jacksonville. Nonetheless, road trips from Jacksonville aren't too bad. St. Augustine and
oh yeah,
Jekyll's Island and all that stuff.
Bernardina.
Yeah.
But I burn in the sun, so I don't.
But Jacksonville itself, man, smells like sulfur.
It's awful. It's just crime and red. It's redneck. It's NASCAR rednecks.
It's NASCAR redneck.
It's not like I moved to Georgia when I was a teenager, and those are hillbillies. And there's kind of like a nice culture around that type of Southern culture, which usually Southern culture gets a bad rep, but I don't know why.
Oh my God, we got three Southerners on the show. Oh my God.
There's where are you?
Did you just go ooh?
Hey.
No, that was me.
No, you went, you?
I went, ooh.
Oh, ooh.
That was me.
Three Southerners on the show. Ew.
Hey.
Ew. So tell me more. Jacksonville. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, shithole, but I have an affection for the place.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's just like NASCAR rednecks and scary cops and car accidents and tornadoes and hurricanes.
There's a law that you can't have a bar within a block of a church. So they made sure to put all these churches in downtown to keep the bars out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's
That's so stupid. In
So-
Georgia, you can't drink on Sunday.
Yeah, I was working a tech contract, 2001. Yeah, it was 2001. And I would save my money by, I thought it was going to last a while. So I went ahead and leased as cheap a house as I can get, which was kind of in the poor side of town. And I'm one of those people, I like roughing it. I didn't even have a TV. I had a library card. So I just get a bunch of books and go home and listen to the radio and read books. And, it was, I tried to sleep and there would be helicopter searchlights in my apartment complex, things like that. People random banging on my door in the middle of the night. I went to go do my laundry and this, quite robust young woman was there, and we started talking, and then in the middle of the talking she says, give me $20 and I'll give you a blowjob.
That's awesome. That's a good
I'm like, thank you, but no. Would you like $20 though?
It's like, I'll give you $20.
Would you like that? But she ended up being my only friend in the apartment complex, so she would invite me over.
Friends?
She became your friend.
We became friends afterwards. So she invited me over. She invited me over, and I'd sit there and I'd be having a beer, and we're talking about her husband who's in prison, and then she's just start getting out this thing and she starts smoking crack in front of me.
That's awesome.
Like,
that's where I'm from.
I'm this naive little white guy, suburban white guy. Oh wow, okay. I'm going to act like that's normal.
Oh wow.
So that's my Jacksonville story.
That sounds about right.
Honestly, I had some of the best Thai food ever at this one Jacksonville restaurant.
Which one? Do you know the name?
No, it was over 20 years ago. But it was owned and run by Thai, a Thai family, and their teenage daughter was running it. And I remember ordering the Thai tea because I love Thai tea, and they were in a really good Thai tea. And I complimented on it, and she goes, "Yeah, it's great. It tastes like pot, doesn't it?" Yeah, it kind of does.
I take it you were a pot smoker back home.
I was not much of one. I can't inhale. I was very Clintonian in my pot. The only way I was able to inhale was one of my girlfriends at the time shotgunned me.
What?
Which is, you know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did that for fun.
Yeah, she shotgunned me, and I was like, "Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this."
So you're like a tech nerd.
Yeah, I was like, no, I smoke it like I do a cigar. I just in the mouth. I just do it in the mouth.
Just do it.
You're just like, what the hell did I miss when my family lived in Jacksonville? I was in Korea when my family lived in Jacksonville.
Oh, really?
Definitely had no stories like this.
Really? I feel like it's all crime. Everything. My dad's also like the Florida man, exactly like the Florida man.
Yeah, Florida man comes from Jacksonville. I mean, that's why they're making fun of it.
I was about to ask, is that where
place.
Florida man came from? Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Yeah. Florida man is Jacksonville, the Redneck Riviera.
Yeah.
And Orlando.
Rough.
Tampa.
I don't know. I think my sister stayed behind in Fort Myers because she was still in college.
Fort Myers.
But then my mom, dad, and
civilized.
my kid brother went up to Jacksonville for a few years. And then they went back to Oklahoma. I guess maybe it was Jacksonville was the reason why they went back to Oklahoma. They're like, screw this.
Which one's worse?
So let me ask, how are the sausages in Jacksonville?
The sausages.
That's my really bad segue.
That's your horrible segue.
Horrible segue. Horrible segue. I'm trying to steer us. I mean, this is fun. This is fun.
Oh, the thing.
I'm just steering us back to Korea because usually, if I'm not careful, this will all be a show about Oklahoma.
Oh no!
And it's not me that does it; it's him. I'm not even the one that has
Oklahoma and Alabama.
Oklahoma.
It turns out to be that. And then now that we all have connections to JAX, I like the only pro football game I've ever seen has been the Jaguars.
Yeah, I've seen a few. It's a nightmare.
I can't believe that, man.
I hate it so much.
Portals. So anyway, well, the funny little brouhaha. There's been a lot of funny things happening in the news this week, but the one I've been focusing on is this one ad. Let me pull this up. I should just do that. I'm just gonna post up our show notes.
To show everybody how
I'm gonna show everyone how the sausage is made. Yeah, I can't believe it.
There's been a lot of funny things in the news this week. All I could think of was like India's burning, America's
I know.
shooting. I was like, what if he pulls one of those up? We're like,
No.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, whoops. I should get rid of that. Anyway. Yeah. So GS25, one of our local Pyeongjum convenience stores, posted this promotion for camping items. And in English, it says emotional camping must-have item. And in Korean, it says camping gaja. Let's go camping.
What the fuck is emotional camping?
Okay. See, this is the thing they don't get pegged on. This is out of all the things wrong with this. That's the big thing you should get on. But it's like, English isn't used for communication. It's used for aesthetics. Yeah. So this got a bunch of men's rights people butthurt because this hand grabbing a sausage, they say is a militant feminist gesture. And it's for those listening that aren't seeing this photo, it is like just take your thumb and your forefinger and act like you're picking a grape. And that's what the gesture is. And I was like, why is that so? And I was like thinking, it kind of looks like someone showing the size of a small penis. That's exactly what it is. So
see, I didn't even notice it until like I read the article and it was pointed out, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like, what is this going on? Because I've seen Koreans in the past before this whole thing use this pose in pictures, but they would do it under their chin.
Like this.
Yeah, like this. I've seen them do this, and I was like, what is this pose? That's a weird pose.
I mean, I know, like I've seen this one, like the little hearts.
Yeah, the parts, but this is before then. This is before the hearts got big. I've seen some weird photos.
Do you think it's real though that they're like? I haven't seen any like in my life militant feminists in Korea, nor have I seen actual or talked to anyone who's been like a guy that's been upset about this. I know like the small Asian dick stereotype is a thing, and I think that's a problem.
They shouldn't be doing that. I mean,
like I don't see.
I think it's funny that it's Korean women doing this. It's like it wasn't white people doing this. It was Korean women saying this.
Yeah, I just don't. Or are they just seeing symbols in places where they're not?
I want to point this out because I was trying to make it so it wasn't three white people talking about Korean culture. I was inviting Korean Americans on the show, and some couldn't make it because of scheduling. Others just didn't want to go on camera talking about it, but they gave me their input. And it seems it's kind of Trumpian in its cynicism. It is political groups that are trying to create some type of culture war, gender war. And by making a big stink about these symbols, suddenly people are seeing these symbols everywhere. It's totally QAnon. It's totally QAnon type of stuff. And so
If you look for Porsches everywhere, you see Porsches everywhere.
Yeah, I know. Once you start
look for them.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And the other weird thing was in the English, you can somehow spell out the word Megal, which is the term for the militant feminist organization or club or whatever. And what is an emotional camping must have item? If you take the M in item, and the G
I'm still
in
not seeing
camping
it.
and all in emotional, it's mega. I mean, this is how far they're reaching. You have to. I had to
that
check it
part
a
I
lot of
was
times
like,
to figure it out.
Are the Korean
I couldn't see
feminists
it.
real? Is that something? I don't
Okay,
know.
so I did research on that too. During the mayor's fiasco in 2015, there was an internet cafe dedicated to that, and what was it? Oh, that's what it was. Some men did a fake article about some Korean women breaking curfew to go fashion shopping. And they called them kimchi women.
Oh, that was like a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. And so Korean women in the group started when it came out that this was fake news. Korean women started lashing back and making fun of male chauvinists, calling them kimchi men. And the kimchi men, they went, "Oh, you can't do that to us. We can do it to you, but you can't do it to us." Because for the longest time, since around 2006 or so, there's been this term commonly known as daenjeongyo, which is daenjeong woman, which is a woman.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, daenjeongyo, which is someone who doesn't only eats daenjeong only eats the cheapest food, so she can spend her money on high-end fashion items. Luxury items.
I'm like, what's so bad with that? I mean, if that's what you want to spend your money on, go for it.
That's just frugality and discipline. Actually, that's discipline.
Yeah. That is discipline.
But what it is at the heart of it is because these types of women will not date these types of losers, and this is how they lash out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the root is in groups like Ilbe, which is
these groups can only have like 12 people.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really small men's rights group, and
they just have really loud voices.
Yeah, they're really loud.
It's like the people who get mad. You know how Bill Burr just did the SNL thing, and then there were 3 or 4 articles about how he was misogynistic and maybe racist because he didn't pronounce the Latina girl's name right. And it's like everyone was talking about how there's an outrage over it, but in real life, nobody was outraged. Nobody gave a fuck.
I remember some article coming about cultural appropriation for Korean food in New York City. And then the only people that were in the article were just 3 Koreans. One of them was a kimchi maker who had these are people who all had a stake in the game.
Yeah.
And then I'm talking to other Koreans and they're like, this is not a big deal. They were talking about just like non-Koreans making kimchi or something like that.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Koreans make Mexican, American, whatever food. There's 8 restaurants opening up at this very second.
Yeah. But you know, it's a small group of people. Usually it's the diaspora who've, oh God, here I'm going to get in trouble. It's
not a podcast unless you get in trouble for saying something.
It's people who've never lived in Korea being experts on Korea.
Oh yeah. But there's a lot of that. Like there's a lot of people back home who speak Korean and I only speak food.
They're the gatekeepers of Korean culture. People who've never lived in Korea are the gatekeepers of Korean culture. And I mean, I stayed up front. We're outsiders inside Korea. We're expats or immigrants inside Korea. Even though I'm trying to learn the language all the time, my language skills are still embarrassing. In fact, I was on KBS last week with an embarrassing interview on camera, which I hope they'll never use, of me trying to do an interview in Korean. And they ended the interview by saying, you need to go to take more Korean classes. I'm like, I know.
Really? They said that to you?
Yeah, they were saying that in a really nice way. You need to really study Korean harder. I mean, back when I first came to Korea, all you needed to do was say "안녕하세요," and they were like, "Oh my god, your Korean's so good." But these days, after
I just look at that.
Misuda, they kind of expect certain foreigners to speak Korean fluently. And in my experience, I don't know. I can only count on one hand the number of people I know who speak fluent Korean who either didn't grow up with Korean, or they didn't quit everything and study it full time.
Yeah.
It's hard, especially if you're working in a business where you're not allowed to speak Korean. If you've ever been an English teacher, you're not allowed to speak English. I mean, you're not allowed to speak Korean. And so you can only do part-time Korean, and somehow you're supposed to magically know it. When Korea itself spends all this money and effort and time to learn English and still scores so lowly on English language scores, English tests. And go overseas to Canada, US, and the Philippines, and come back and still can barely speak English.
Yeah.
And then Korean immigrants. I ran across this statistic recently. Korean immigrants had the lowest rates of English fluency of all immigrants in the US. Because English and Korean, it's just difficult to learn either language.
Also, there's Korean towns where all the roads and everything are in Korean, so that's helpful. That's good. I mean, yeah. I just tell people when I meet, like, I don't really talk about that much, but when I do meet like a new Korean person, and they ask how long I've been here, I just say 6 months.
So they don't come after you for not speaking Korean.
Yeah. That's
so smart. That is so smart. I'm so that's such a good one. So
change your years to months.
Yeah. Anyway, there's this other ad. There's a green, a type of like olive green that's used for the Megal militant feminist site, and so I think this one.
Not even really that militant.
I just picture them all like,
you know what? And they really got big. It's really the Me Too movement they're really going after. And the Me Too movement got really big after this. I think it was 2017 murder of a woman in a Gangnam bathroom.
Right.
By a guy who hated women.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. Some of our last big crimes have been men attacking women. And I'm like, I mean, the Korean men in this are using this excuse as like saying like, well, we have to do military service for 2 years, which puts us at a disadvantage because women don't have to do it and they can stay in college. Like, yeah, great. So if women have so much of an advantage, how many female CEOs and managers are we seeing in Korean society? When women get pregnant, they have to can they keep their careers after they have children? The same way men can after they have children? Are men as criticized for gaining weight as women are?
In my world.
Yeah. I mean, and how many attacks, how many sexual attacks on men have there been compared to women?
I think men should get a medal for just not being a piece of shit and leaving everyone behind. Gold medal.
We've been drinking all day.
That is fine. That is fine. That was a cameo from Brittany's husband. That was lovely.
You're filling up my wine.
Anyway, I don't want to turn to be me ranting about stuff, but what I'm doing is I'm distilling stuff that others have told me, and I told them I would convey them online on the show.
Well, just playing devil's advocate. Sometimes feminists can be a bit aggressive, and sometimes so aggressive that it ruins the whole point of the movement because it's just so in your face.
Yeah, it turns people off. I'm okay because I was really. Well, I still am on board with the Me Too movement after Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, all that stuff. Mario Batali, my beloved Mario Batali. I've watched all my heroes fall.
Yeah,
but then
Kevin Spacey. That was sad, but that was
Kevin Spacey.
I think Louis C.K. was fine though. I'd
Louis
watch
C.K.
Louis jack off in a plant.
Yeah, Louis C.K. I mean, that got me. But then there was that one about Aziz Ansari, and I was like, I think we're going a little too far.
Right? She's like, I gave you a blowjob, but I didn't want to. It's like, well,
did she actually go that far? I didn't know that she went that far.
Yeah, she like blew him, and then she said later that she felt like she was pressured because of his power, but it's like, no, you're just kind of a weak character.
Yeah, okay. The thing about Aziz Ansari was, what it sounded like was a bad date.
Yeah.
Wasn't that power thing, because in the end, I mean, we know Aziz Ansari. Would she have dated him in the first place if he wasn't a celebrity?
Right. No.
That's a good question. Yes.
Yeah. Would she, it's like he's using his power, but you only dated him because of his power.
Right.
Anyway, that's where I thought it went a little too far.
I think it's embarrassing that she even brought it up, like that she did that and then decided later that she felt like a victim. It's like,
that's when
most of the time when you're young and you go on dates and go that far, you regret it. Yeah. I don't know. Like,
that's when a movement that is right just turns from it. It starts looking like naked opportunism, and someone just trying to make a name for themselves. Yeah, and that I mean, because anyway, yeah, I see what you mean by that. Oh God, we're going to get so much trouble for this show.
The last podcast I did, they had to cut 2 hours of it. So
we're not going to go that far. We're not going to go that far.
Not because of the time.
Because what you said. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna share the screen again. I'm still sharing the screen. Oh my gosh. Okay.
You've never took us off of.
Oh my God. Okay. What have I been showing? I've been showing you my mail. Anyway.
No, just it's been on the show notes the entire time. So.
Okay. Anyway. All right. So this other one is another GS25 article with this girl group showing off bread. And one of them is just innocuously holding bread, and just one hand just happens to make that gesture. But that's how you hold something if you're presenting it.
Posing.
That's a pose.
You can't cover it up with your hand.
Is GS run by militant women?
Yeah. So the CEO has apologized and says he's going to find the roots of this and weed it out. It's okay. This is what gets me, is how fast these corporations have responded to this. There have been other things in the past when they've done shit to women and foreigners, and they've been like, you must understand our unique situation and all that stuff. They've done blackface, and they say, oh no, you're just not looking at our unique culture when they do blackface. But some little crybaby male organization shows some women just holding. It's not even a gesture. There's not even an intention. They're just accidental. It just accidentally looks that way. Then all of them capitulate. All of them capitulate.
Men that would shoot up schools if they had guns here.
Here's another one of another. It's a menu. And it shows sausages, and there's a hand holding a sausage to show how large the sausages are.
Not very.
Well, comparatively. And it's just like they got offended by that. So people are just seeing this in everywhere. There's another one put out. This is one put out by the police department. There's a hand with that gesture.
It is a weird way to point.
It is a weird way to point. I think it's just they're getting clip art.
Yeah. Look over here.
I mean, really, how many?
Actually, it looks like it's grabbing for something.
Yeah, it looks like it's grabbing for the period or something.
Yeah.
But think about it. How many militant feminists are involved in the police, do you think?
Yeah, and
not gonna go on a limb and say not that many.
Yeah.
Considering a number of the police force, it's just a bunch of guys doing their military service too.
This is another one. I'm gonna have it automatically translate to Korean for you. but it's this ad that they're showing a woman, a YouTuber for this ad. Oh, where is it? Right here. Okay, this is the. Can you see that? Are you showing the screen? Or is it staying on there? Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Let me stop it. Let me do this again. Hold on. Share screen.
I saw Bill Gates got divorced due to an affair. Is that true?
Oh, it wasn't an affair? No, it's because now he's injected everyone with his microchip with that vaccine. He can just go online and find all the single ladies who've been vaccinated.
Those are the same people seeing these symbols, and also the same people that shoot up.
So here's the symbol.
Right, that's the actual website that they're getting so angry about, Magellan.
Yeah,
which is an online feminist group that's often painted as this very kind of ultra combatant, but I don't know. They raise money and pay for women's court fees for taking men to court, like rapists to court and stuff.
Yeah,
they do a lot of good things too. So
they do great things. I mean, this Korean feminism is pretty mild compared to Western feminism.
Western feminism almost made me a misogynist.
Yeah,
sometimes it's so crazy, but yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna. I can't go there, but you know. Okay, so this woman right here, just advertising for McDonald's. They attacked her because she graduated from a university that's associated with feminism.
Don't a lot of people graduate from that?
I know. Now
Who's
they're
looking
attacking
at McDonald's
people
and seeing where they went to university first
based
of all.
on what university they went to.
Who's ever looked at where someone in a McDonald's commercial went to school? And I never thought any of them went to school.
Yeah. Oh, this is a society where they will track down make sure the diploma is valid for rappers.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Oh, yeah, there was a huge hoopla over Tableau, whether or not he actually graduated from Stanford.
Because street cred. There's nothing that says rapping street cred like Stanford.
That's lame.
He did actually graduate from Stanford, so
it's good, but yeah.
That was like a year-long thing. Oh, I remember that one.
Anyway, yeah, going back to that.
Well, and then like they've gone after, girl group members because they posted pictures of like selfies on Instagram reading books that are supposed to be, that may or may not be feminist content.
Yeah. This is how it is. It's like you cannot do anything. I mean, this just shows how much power these men have when women can be attacked just for reading a book online that could be remotely conceived as feminism, because feminism is the Korean equivalent of QAnon or Nazism.
There was the one, and then there was another girl group member who got attacked for her phone cover that said girls can do anything.
I remember that.
Oh.
Yeah, oh my God, because they can't.
No, we can't.
They can't.
It's just getting kind of ridiculous.
We're getting to the ridiculous. Now this is even more. So this is my guidelines on if you want to offend anti-femies, and that's what they're called, anti-femies. Use the word hubba hubba. Hubba hubba. These are ones that are pointing out in ads that offend poor little men who live with their moms.
And they do.
Yeah, they say that hubba hubba attacks. This is the sound men make when they eat ravenously. And I'm like, well, if you don't like that, then don't look like don't eat like a starving dog when you're like on TV eating noodles. Yeah. Have you noticed that? Like, you ever watch those reality shows? And it's like a woman's eating like a civilized person, but the man's just stuffing all the food in one cheek.
Yeah. It's horrible.
Yeah, I'm like,
So they use that term, and then it offends the men.
It offends the men to point out that men tend to eat like tend to stuff all the food in their face.
See, that's what I don't like about the West, is that I feel like feminists, whoever, more the left, which I am left, but like not that far. But
I'm very
I feel like everyone gets so sensitive about the smallest things. Like you put the OK symbol on the list, and I didn't know that it meant that, and I've used it, I'm sure, before, but like there's all these little tiny things that people get really upset about.
What? Okay, so this is new. Someone added. Roboseyo added this. Oh my God.
Yeah, he just messaged me and said that if we got a link, he's here.
Oh, he added this. I could pull him in if he wants to come in.
Yeah, he just messaged me on Facebook saying,
give him the link to the chat. I'll pull him in
to the thing.
Yeah.
He's like, Joe isn't seeing my messages. Like, hold on.
I'm not. I'm gonna check. I'm sorry. I know we're live on YouTube, and I'm not checking the YouTube. This is another one. Is Ojo Ok, which is like Ojo it's like 500 billion, 5 million. It's just an attack on men's sperm counts. That's also. Yeah. I was like, really? Are we so sensitive?
Yeah, I'm always against the group that's sensitive. I think.
Well, this is it. This is Ilbe. Now, I used to follow stuff about Ilbe all the time. Was these right wing assholes? And they were really like they would harass the parents of the Seoul children who were killed. This one manly man Ilbe bug, that's what they call it, is Ilbe bugs, living with his mom, and he got angry that his mom didn't make him breakfast that day before she left. So you know how he did what he did? He took all of her makeup and ruined it and rubbed it into the floor and took a picture of it and showed everyone this will teach her.
What?
Yeah. He destroyed his mother's makeup. This is like a 30-year-old man.
This is what I think. I think these are people who, in their youth, would normally, in America, you see these problems arise early in their youth because they start killing small animals, birds, and then cats, and then dogs, and then later they start acting out with people and eventually become serial killers. Yeah. And in Korea, you don't have small animals running around. So
attack mom's makeup kit.
Bottled up for a while. Starts with mom's makeup.
And he poured water on it. Oh God, I remember that. Hold on, let me give Rob a zoom.
I hope she made him clean it up. He like whole.
Could you imagine
I'm still your mother.
Could you imagine going on a date with that guy like in 10 years and then finding out, like Googling him and finding out he's the guy that smeared his mom's makeup?
Yeah, I wonder. This is another telling thing. How many of these anti-femies can cook for themselves?
I don't think any of them.
That should say a lot right there.
I don't think the feminists can either. I don't think young Koreans cook, right?
Oh yeah, actually that's kind of true. Okay, another one is a female comedian did a thing where she took a male doll and mocked it, used her finger to pretend there was a penis there. And the police are investigating her for that.
Where did she post it?
It was on YouTube, wasn't it?
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, it was for some YouTube thing.
Yeah, the article I'm looking at did not. Oh, it does have the YouTube. Yeah, it's in the notes.
Like, yeah. So during her YouTube entertainment show, she playfully pushed a male doll's arm towards its groin while changing its clothes. At least that's what the Herald said she did.
I think he should be investigated because she's an adult with a doll, like playing with a doll on YouTube. I think that's
okay. Here, let me share it. Let me share it. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Hold on. Let me bring Rob in.
Hi,
Hello,
Rob.
we have Rob. Roboseyo is here.
Hey, everybody.
Hello. Well, you've got a real studio.
Oh, by the way, turn off all your YouTube stuff.
I teach from home. Yeah, you had that little echo there for a second, didn't you?
Giant delay.
For a second, I thought I accidentally unmuted mine. I was like, well, oh no, it wasn't me this time.
Why am I repeating myself?
Mm-hmm.
That's your senility.
That's a cool chair.
That is a groovy chair. It looks like lungs.
I like those dual back chairs. They're awesome.
I was about to show the video that kind of shows the comedian who's being investigated by the police for sexual harassment on a doll.
Oh, she's a comedian.
Hold on, let me. I'm sharing my screen. Hold on, let me pull that up. Oh my gosh, the audio listeners are going to hate this show. Here we go. I'm pulling it up. All right. Okay. So, or fast forwarding. I'm going to fast forward. And so this is a little YouTube act, and they're blurring it out. That she took this looks like a Ken doll, and it's showing the police station. YouTube. Oh God, okay, I can't read Hangul that fast. Okay, so
pause it.
I'm not going to pause it. Okay. Anyway, basically, it's showing this comedian, and she's on, and she had. Oh, it looks like a Stretch Armstrong. That's what it is. It looks like a Stretch Armstrong, and she started playing with its tallywhacker, or pretending there was a tallywhacker there, using her finger.
And why?
I mean, not the funniest thing, but she's being investigated by the police for doing this.
Oh, they love it. Look at him. Oh.
Yeah.
I've seen her before. Huh. I mean, that's worth investigating. Why focus on murders and rapes and drugs and whatever that's happening in Hongdae when she's playing with a doll?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, exactly. Thousands of people signed that petition on the Blue House website
for her to get investigated.
That's one of the things that I've been thinking about lately. Like, is this whole thing where the media is reporting on like somebody's controversial tweet, or the media is reporting on a petition that's on the Blue House website, and the same thing in the White House website, right? Where like, is this actually a news story? And what are the benchmarks? Like, how many signatures on that petition is enough to be like, okay, this is an actual social movement and we should pay attention to it? And how much of it is just like, listen, if we write an article about this, we'll get some clicks, and we need that advertiser money right now.
This is what was disturbing to me was when I was researching this, and I was researching specifically the GS25 article of controversy. 90% of the Korean language articles I researched, and this is just like a neighbor search, and I searched through 4 pages of search. 90% were anti-feminist. They were using language like the GS25 CEO finally apologized, things like that. And like they did wrong. Like GS25 actually did something wrong. 10% were kind of saying like, this is a 10% of tea's pot that someone is manufacturing. 10% of the story said that.
The other thing that you'd probably
does anybody like?
No. We're men, but we're the types that don't talk over women.
I forgot what I was going to say.
I forgot.
Good job, Joe. It's probably no big deal. That wasn't gaslighting. No. Well, what I was going to say though is like, the other thing that you find when there's a viral story like this is that like out of those, if there are 500 articles, 90%, 450 of them are like 435 of those 450 are just quoting one of the first 3 articles about the topic.
That is true, because I found a lot of repetitive articles in there.
It's just this echo chamber. It's just this echo chamber of recycled stories to stir up out. And I think I read about like places like Breitbart where they do that on purpose. Like this was part of the 2016 presidential campaign thing, is they would take these articles and they would like fine tune them and like just move the paragraphs around and change a few word choices to find the absolute most clickbaity one in order to maximize the impact.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
So it's all focus groups. Sorry?
I was about to sneeze. It was quiet.
That says it all right there.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was going to respond and then
You had a great response, but no, we had to mansplain it, you know?
No, I didn't have one.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do think they're changing the articles and trying to get clickbait.
I used to work in political talk radio, and we would deal with organizations like Newsmax, and they were a little sleazy and they would do stuff like that. Yeah. They were clickbaity. Yeah.
It's just all the people on social media who just follow it so closely and do get emotional about it. Like I quit watching the news after Trump was elected or after Biden was elected, and I'm so much happier. I don't know what's going on. America could be burning and I'm just fine.
Actually, it's doing quite fine. It's doing quite fine right now, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny how it's doing right now. Yeah.
I mean, you talk to my dad and it doesn't sound that way. And it's like,
really? No. We're actually,
I don't know, Dad.
people are vaccinated and watching theater in the park. I mean, this is great.
See you guys. Goodbye.
I love this show. It's just, Rob, this is like an old Soul podcast show. It's just chaos.
Kind of is, yeah. A little happy chaos.
Yeah, I'm not really. I mean, we're sort of touching on the topic. You put in a lot of information that we're just going to promptly ignore.
Great.
Like this, actually, I remember 4 years ago on the Cafe Soul podcast that I do, I interviewed somebody and we talked about this exact thing, like Ilbe versus Megalia and what's going on there, and the internet culture wars. And like the lines have been drawn since 2016 at least. Apparently, what I was told then is that basically Megalia started out just taking have you ever seen where somebody takes like some comment and just switches the genders? They take some comment that like a politician made and they just switch she for he. And when you read it with the genders switched, you see how on its face ridiculous the comment is, or on its face hateful. What my guest told me is that basically that's where Megalia started. They would just go around the regular Korean internet or Ilbe, take comments that people were saying about women and switch the genders and put them on Megalia.
Mm-hmm. That's just putting a mirror up.
But the men went ballistic.
They went ballistic because
they couldn't handle that mirror image.
They can't handle it. And you wonder why they can't handle it. And this is something I said on the Dark Side podcast a few weeks ago, and then I saw this in this article. So a professor's actually saying something similar. It's like it's mostly men in their 20s. That are disenfranchised, not disenfranchised. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a Marxist word. Anyway, they can't get that Samsung job that they've been working all their lives for. They can't get that posh chaebol job, even though those jobs suck, but it's the job they've been shooting for their prestige. They can't get that white collar job they've been wanting. Their career's not going the way they wanted to. The women that they want to. Sorry, we're going to get the explicit rating. The women they want to fuck don't want to date them. Well, and so, but at the same time, the way society is, they're also not the top of they're higher than other parts of society, but they're not the highest part. So that the older males are also putting a lot of pressure on them. And so
like the almost
only
everybody's
solution they
down
can think
on
of, the only way they can make themselves feel better is to punch down.
Now, like I'll be honest, okay? I
really
no. Here's
Brittany's lying. Why don't you lie? Come on.
Lying?
Here's the thing, though. Like I teach these men. Okay, I teach university first year students. So you're
going to get in trouble.
I get no. Well, just hold on. I get like 100 young men who are staring at Korea's social conditions as a young man not in a Sky University in the face coming through my class. Okay. Yeah. Now let's also add a little sociological context here. From like about 1990 to 2000, the ratio of boys to women in Korea was because of like gender selective abortion and stuff like that. Okay. I think in 1990, it was something crazy like 130 boys for every 100 girls born. Wow. In Korea that year. Okay.
Wow, because I'm lucky I got one.
Because of the male preference. So we're talking about a huge number of Korean young men who their dating prospects are not great.
Yeah.
All of the same like toxic capitalism things that are making everyone in the world struggle are leaning especially hard on them because they're also facing social pressure from their grandparents that you're supposed to be the man of the house. You're supposed to be the bread earner. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when your father got married, he bought an apartment and he bought a car and he bought a, you know, like all of that gender pressure is on them too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got to do military service. Now, you know, if you slow down and actually get people to think about it, like, well, the reason that only men do military service is not because of feminists. It's because the men who made the rules about military service were sexists.
Yeah.
You know, the reason only men do military service in Korea is because of sexism. Yeah. So these guys should be feminists. These guys should be allies of the movement that is trying to erase those gender roles, flatten out those gender expectations, make it so that the rules really do apply the same to everyone, so that they're no longer feeling that pressure that, well, I've got to pay for dinner, but I also don't get any rights because feminism, you know, like they feel like they're getting it from all sides at this point. Mm-hmm. It's, you know, yeah, it's tough for everybody. It's tough for these guys. And you take a bunch of people like that with diminishing prospects, with not much hope for the future, in a bad situation that doesn't look like it's getting better, and you give them someone to blame. Right?
Yeah. I'm kind of paraphrasing Sean Lim of Soulite. They're punching down, but he was talking about how Korean progressives are treating foreigners. Mm-hmm. They're punching down.
And like, I'm not saying all of this stuff to say that this all means it's okay for them to be toxic sexists and abusive and to, you know, all of the terrible things they do. I'm not saying that it's right or okay for them to mobilize internet attacks and stuff like that. But what I am saying is, like,
you're going to make me sound like an asshole for making fun of Mr. Makeup Guy.
I know, now I regret everything I said. I'm like,
well, here's
by the way, Brittany's already reserved. You're coming back on the show in the future.
I have nothing useful to say.
You have great. No,
I'm like the least educated.
No, you have you have the great commentary. It's like,
well, like I think a point that Rob made that it's good to focus on is, yeah, somebody gave them a scapegoat to focus on, and what it does is it takes the focus off of who's really behind all of the issues.
Yeah.
So that nothing actually ever gets changed. So, you know, these guys are so angry, and we feel bad for them, but they're focusing all this kind of antagonism and aggressiveness in the wrong spot. It's not these feminists' fault that things are the way they are. It's the old guys up top. So
and what I was gathering from the Koreans I was talking to were saying like this really does sound like an organized conservative group manipulating the media in this.
So sense. They should kill all the old people, and then that would be better.
I like where Brittany's like just like, so kill the old people. There we go.
Well, I think you found the title for this episode.
Let's kill all the old people.
Yeah.
Were you kind of hoping COVID would get more of them?
You know, that was one of the worst nicknames for COVID I heard was, you know, like there were all the racist ones, which are crappy and I'll never repeat them. But one I heard was Boomer Remover.
Oh, no.
Isn't that horrible?
But it's lovely. It's horrible and lovely at the same time.
It has such a nice ring to it, but what a horrible thought.
Yeah.
But no, but you're right, Emma. That's exactly it, right? That as long as they are punching down, as long as young disenfranchised young men and disenfranchised young women are fighting each other, nobody is disrupting the system that pits them dog against each other. And that's where, that's where the solutions are. But the other thing is, like when men are treating women with so much contempt, and when we turn around and treat men like, oh, look at these incel losers with such contempt, that just pushes them farther into the community where nobody calls them a loser.
That's true, but it's so much fun to make fun of Makeup Guy.
It's so much fun.
I just think I feel like rather than spending all of that time online fighting back and forth, maybe focus on getting a job or like building character or like playing a sport or being healthy rather than just fucking around on the internet all day.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too, is like a lot of these men live with their parents and they don't have the pressure to pay rent. They don't have the pressure to go out and get a job.
Well, that sounds like the parents' problem.
Yeah, but it's also, the underlying problem is also because real estate prices are crazy. It's really almost impossible for someone to live out on their own without. Yeah,
well, then move to another city. They're so desperate to live in the middle of Seoul, right where everything's happening.
Yeah, I know. And some independent-minded people are actually going back to farming. But
yeah, don't want to do that.
No, 50% of the population lives in Seoul because that's what we do.
Well, and they say my husband teaches adults as well, and they say they complain about the same thing, how everything's expensive. They want to get married, they want to buy an apartment, but they can't because they have to live in Seoul. Just fucking move. Yeah. Just go to Daejeon or Gwangju.
I would go if I could. I really would.
In Seoul.
My business is here, though. My business, I can't do Dark Side of Seoul tours in Busan.
Right.
But
you've got it made.
I would go if I could. I love the Korean countryside, and now with Kupang, it's much easier. I love it.
But the other thing, of course, is that
I'm leaving Korea altogether.
Yeah, you're leaving. Emma's leaving Korea altogether.
I'm so sad.
Really? Where are you going?
Yeah, okay. We're gonna see. By the way, guys, I'm calling this now. This is the observation I've made with expats over the years. Is Emma's going through a phase right now where she's adjusting to it, but in the last 3 months, she's going to do the "see you suckers" phase, in which she's going to be like, "You're all losers for staying here. I hate this place." She's going to start doing this.
I would never ever do that.
That's why I never go to going away parties, because it is basically "see you suckers" parties.
No, Joe, you never go to going away parties because you have no soul.
I thought you were going to say because it wasn't invited.
It's because my pee-pee's only this big.
Oh no. Where are you going to?
Austin, Texas.
That's where I'm moving next year. That's why I give a little Texas.
Oh my God, I'm moving next year. We're actually moving next March. So
April.
Oh, you're totally going to be neighbors.
Oh my God, we're going to have a group. Yeah.
Perfect.
Wait a minute. Do you know Jan from Texas?
No, I'm trying to sell art.
What's so funny? What's so funny? You make that joke, but if she goes back to Austin and she says, "Oh, I lived in Seoul for a while," so if someone says, "Hey, do you know Rob from Seoul?" likely she will, because our community is so small. She likely will know.
That actually happened to me when I moved across Canada once. Although it was still within like the Christian school church community, so maybe that reduces the unlikeliness quite a bit.
It's funny how
I actually did.
That still happens.
Oh, you're moving to that town? Do you know John from Abbotsford? And it was actually a guy in my class.
Oh, that's weird. That's weird.
I still get that with JBU. Oh, you went to John Brown University? Do you know so and so? And I'm like, actually, I do.
Wow, that's interesting too. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a Christian school thing.
Why did you choose Austin?
it's always just kind of been at the top of my list. If I ever moved back, I wanted to go there because I love kind of live music, and they have South by Southwest.
Oh yeah,
That was
true.
like the main thing. But then I started really looking into it, and it's just a really great city. It's young. There's a lot going on with the job market. Like so far, I've got like my pick of jobs. Hopefully that stays the way. It's cheaper. Like we're looking at like Yeah, we looked at a house on Monday that was 3 bedrooms.
No, you can get pools now. You can
get pools.
Wow.
I was like, a pool? I didn't know I needed a pool, but now I need a pool.
Going back to the south, especially where the land is flat, it's all pools.
Yeah.
I need a pool.
Yeah.
I need a pool. So.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, Rob doesn't know this. He's from Canada. But they have pools down south.
Is that kind of like an outdoor ice rink?
Well, yeah. Pools are where you go to escape the mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Those are those things that turn into outdoor ice rinks when they freeze, right?
Yeah.
Not in the south.
Because it doesn't freeze.
Oh yeah, I missed your joke.
That's all right. That's all right.
It's okay.
I'm looking for you guys doing that.
Sometimes I see like aerial photos of cities in the southern parts of the United States, and it amazes me how many backyards have pools in them.
Yeah, yeah. I grew up swimming.
Yeah,
I
was on the swim team.
Fun stuff.
I was on the swim team in high school.
It's like people make all these assumptions about people in the South. It's like, what did you do when you growing up? We were in pools the whole time.
Pools all summer.
We were in pools. Tell me more. Okay, I want to know more because Brittany's our special new guest. We've heard enough about Rob for the past. Rob's been on the show for since 2008. I mean,
I always have opinions. You could just push that button and I've got an opinion for you, but I'll be here next time too.
Yours are all smart. So ask me for some dumb things.
Yeah. They're smart, but you can tap through them.
It's
really
Rob.
fast.
Be prepared.
Yeah. I might be smart, but I like it better if you just laugh at my jokes.
Yeah, me too. I like that.
That's
He's
all.
got some pretty good dad jokes.
Not that I have one right now for you. Now that you've said that, but
Brittany, for one thing, does anyone call you anything else like Brits or anything? No, Brittany. Okay, I'm going to continue calling you Brittany then.
How often? How
long did you come to Korea?
6 years ago.
6 years ago. Honestly, that's a good long time to be here.
Yeah, I'm ready to leave.
The average stay is 2 years.
I love it. I love Korea. I'm gonna be upset when I leave, but
it's going to kill you. I've been through this before because I lived in Germany when I was much younger, and there came a point where I couldn't wait to leave.
Did you miss the sausages?
Yeah.
Not in Germany.
Not in Germany, no. Diverse is sehr groß. But after I came back, it's like I missed that place. I want to go back. That was stupid. I shouldn't have left. And that's one of the reasons I moved to Korea, because I just missed living in a different country. I missed it so badly.
Then you have days like today where the air quality is so bad.
Yes.
You can't go outside, and it's like, well, fuck it, I'm leaving.
Yes, I do go through that. I do go through that. Then I have moments like a year ago when the world was burning down and Korea was kind of okay.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, we want to move to Austin. There was just a shooting there.
Yeah. It's like
most of my collectors are in America, so it's time to go.
That's
and my husband's been here 15 years.
Oh, yeah, it's time to go. It's time to go.
Some people kind of reach a point where it's like, okay, I gotta go now.
If you're not shooting for citizenship, then just try to have one. Come back. You always got friends. Well, you don't always got friends here because everyone's so transient. and when you come back, everything would have changed.
I prefer less friends.
Yeah,
less that I have to do.
Yeah.
I like to burn bridges.
But this is something about Seoul though does bring people back though.
Yeah, I'm gonna be devastated, but I want a big dog too.
Yeah, there are all these little things that you really want, like a big dog and a swimming pool and clean air.
Clean air is the big one.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
But there are little things I moved to Korea for, which is like healthcare.
Yeah, that's gonna be the tough one.
I like the little streets, the little golmokil. That's what makes me happy. When I'm having a bad Korea time, I just go take a walk at night through some of those little tiny back streets, and I'm happy again.
He lives in a great area though. He lives near Gyeongbokgung Palace.
I live in an area where the back streets are cute, not like rat infested.
Yeah. But that's one reason when I do the Dark Side of Seoul tour is I walk through those neighborhoods too, and it makes me fall in love with the city again. Yeah,
they're great. Yeah. They are.
Yeah,
I do like that. It's gonna suck.
yeah.
I have a question.
Okay, you were doing the blockchain selling of your stuff.
Sorry.
What happened? What did I do?
Wait, I turned on Siri or something. What did you say?
Well, lucky Siri. Hi Siri. No, I was saying you did that blockchain thing where you sold your digital art, right?
Are you doing NFTs?
Yeah.
I have another friend who's doing that.
We're going to get him on the show. We're going to get him on the show, actually.
What kind of art do you do? Is it photography or paintings?
No,
or what?
painting. Yeah.
Painting.
It's painting.
Okay.
Someone hasn't been listening to the show.
Someone doesn't get on every Facebook page ever. I post like 25 times a day.
Yeah, Brittany's art. Okay, this is funny thing about the show is like a few weeks ago we had Annie from Love X Stereo, and it's like that music really hits my sweet spot, and Brittany's art hits my sweet spot as well. So it just we're getting like I get people on the show I'm fans of. This is my art that I really like. This is stuff I want to buy.
Thank you.
Yeah. This really is. When I get money, I'm paying for it. So yeah, I'll make sure you're okay.
I'll have a solo exhibition this fall.
Yay! Oh yeah, I heard about that. Tell us about that.
That's all I know. That's it. I don't know when. I don't know exactly where. I don't know what I think I'm gonna do a Western series for it because I like to branch out. I want to do like a Western series with some Comanches and tornadoes and murder.
Yeah, I'm loving your just American trash. It's
that's me.
Straight up Americana.
I like John Waters.
Yes, exactly it. It is John Waters and Tarantino. It's exactly it. Yeah, I love that stuff. I'm looking forward to purchasing your stuff, even your architectural stuff, because I think that's great.
I only do that if I'm forced, like commissions.
But if you got some stuff that you're trying to get your hands off of, I'll buy it from you eventually.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you do like anything really big? I've seen some of the stuff you paint. Do you do really large canvas stuff?
Yeah, I like 4 feet. I have one here, but
4 feet.
Like 4 feet by 2 feet, 3 feet.
Well, we have to convert that to centimeters for Rob.
Yeah. 118.
Okay. Canadians can do both. We can code switch.
I can now.
You can code switch. What's 3 feet in Fahrenheit again?
That's one thing I haven't figured out is temperature.
It's hard.
I just get used to it, but I don't convert. I know what 21 feels like, and I know what 65 feels like, so it's fine. 21 and 65 kind of feel the same, so I think I'm right.
Yeah. Yeah, close enough. It doesn't matter.
Do we have Rob? Did you have any more to say about the GS25 and the feminism? I think I beat it out. I was
gonna make fun of feminists, but then it's like
now we're feeling guilty for making fun of these guys.
I feel bad for them, and I feel bad for the men. And then you're talking about how that one group pays for those women to go to court and everything. I'm like, oh, that's really good. Like sometimes when I think of feminists, I just think of like women showing their hairy armpits and yelling and telling me I'm not funny. And then I don't like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one thing about the left is the left has a really bad like public relations problem where the way that people, and I'm very, very much on the left, but we are, wouldn't you know,
we eat our own too. We eat our own.
First of all, we eat our own, and second of all, the kinds of things that we get upset about as a group, sometimes just we're really bad about coming across as completely humorless blowhards, and the other thing,
and no empathy.
The other thing that really hits me when I read about, like, you know, all of those like New York Times articles, like we went down to Trump country, economic anxiety, and all of that stuff. What I've really been taking away from that kind of media and commentary is like people on the left are really bad at looking down on people who disagree with them.
Yeah, that's true.
Talking about treating people who don't share our politics as if there's something wrong with them, as if they're stupid or ignorant, or
a lot of them are.
And
I mean, but I think a lot of like when I grew up in Alabama, a lot of the reason people act the way they do is because it's in reaction to the rest of the country looking down on them.
And that's the thing, right? Is that feeling, and I've been thinking about like, you know, the right has Fox News. Okay. The left has late night comedians.
Now they do.
This goes all the way back to Jon Stewart. This goes back a long time.
But now they do. Yeah. But I'm talking about like they had Rush Limbaugh since the 80s.
Okay, sure. But things were not as polarized then. But the thing that the late night comedians have really
had a late
done,
night talk show. Sorry.
Can I finish the damn sentence, Joe?
The thing that
somebody give Joe some toffee instead of a drink so that he can't talk for a bit.
Sorry.
Let me finish my damn thought. But the thing that those late night comedians have been doing is just making fun of the right.
Yeah.
And when people are feeling mocked and looked down upon, that pushes them further into their corner. That is not the way to win friends. That is not the way to build bridges. And so everybody's getting upset about Tucker Carlson and stuff like that. But what about that? What about like Stephen Colbert and you know, I don't hold any of them individually responsible, but the fact that basically a bunch of Trevor Noah and Jon Stewart, like these avatars are standing in for what Fox News is doing on the right. And they are just mocking and mocking and mocking the opponent.
Yeah.
That's not helping things either.
Instead.
Sorry, what's that?
Some of it is a little bit false
I
equivalency.
prefer to watch Fox News just because I think it's easier to get news from people I disagree with than the other side. I don't know. CNN, it always feels kind of whiny to me.
CNN is always panicky
because it's always scary in a way, but also
always panicking over something.
Yeah. Anderson Cooper cries all the time, and I don't really respect people who cry at their job. On the news or whatever.
I get a good combination. I mean, I don't listen to Fox, but I do. I mean, of course, I listen to NPR, but I listen to Reuters. Reuters seems farther to the left than NPR.
Any of them lately, but I used to just listen to Fox just to see what the other side was thinking.
Well, all I gotta do is visit my family, and I get enough of the Fox. Or it used to be just go to the U.S. Embassy, and you would get your big taste of Fox there.
The advice that I give my students is don't read domestic outlets for domestic news. Like if you want to read about American politics, don't read CNN or Fox. You know, go read Al Jazeera or BBC.
BBC.
If you want to read about
Deutsche
British,
Welle.
if you want to read about British politics, don't read the British news outlets. Find American outlets or Al Jazeera or the Tokyo Times, or like find other countries writing about
the
British
outsiders are better at looking at you. I mean,
what it is the incentives all line up for insiders to be biased and to show their biases and take a side, where an outlet from another country doesn't have those political or social incentives to take a side that way.
And there we go. That's the biggest plug for our Soul podcast I've ever heard.
Where we ask the important questions like, what are you drinking tonight?
What are you drinking? What are you drinking tonight? Because you already asked everyone else. I've moved to Duck Duck Goose, by the way. A session IPA.
Why did you start drinking again?
Because I was done with it. Oh my god, the exact same one. Yeah. Woohoo! Oh my god.
I had it lined up. I finished this one.
No, my new thing is I have like a soda stream in my house now, and something about homemade sparkling water tastes better.
We have one of those too.
Yeah, I really love it.
So refreshing.
I'm so middle-aged, man.
Get some mojito mix, like the mojito base that you can buy at like the alcohol store. Mix that in with the sparkling water. Oh man.
Because what I love about this is you can put your sparkling water in overdrive.
Yeah.
I put a few extra pumps in there and it's like, whoa, this is like crack. This is awesome.
I like how you said the alcohol store.
Alcohol store.
Oh God, you know what? I had
my chemistry teacher showed me where it was.
Oh, there we go.
They got the ethanol over here and the
oh my God. Rob's the biggest nerd.
Oh, Rob.
Oh my God, show us that tongue again. Oh my God, that's a Gene Simmons tongue you have.
No way, I don't want to be investigated by the YouTube
Simmons
police.
Tongue. That's like I actually got turned on a little bit when I saw that. Oh my God.
I don't need to hear about that, Rob.
That's the sweet spot that Roboseyo reaches when I come on.
I know, man. I'm notoriously short-tongued, so that means I have to do more work.
Are you attached at the little, like in the little spot under by your teeth?
Yeah.
Is it attached there?
It's leashed. My tongue is leashed.
I have a friend whose tongue is attached in that spot.
Yeah,
she can't stick out her tongue like that far and all.
Yeah, that's as far as I can go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I got to work harder. So that's what it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why my Korean's so bad.
Have you seen the people that cut their tongues in half?
Yeah, I've not done that.
Oh, they do like the little forked.
The forked tongue? Oh, I thought you were talking about like what Korean mothers make their kids do. That clip their tongues. They clip the part under the tongue like I have, so they can speak English better.
That's an old story, Joe. It's
long gone. They don't do that anymore.
That's like 2006 or something. Yeah. The little thing that attaches your tongue at the bottom. There used to be kind of a myth going around that if you snip that so that the tongue is a little more loose, then kids can pronounce their L's and R's more correctly.
Yeah.
That didn't work.
It's not true. It's not true.
Jesus Christ, that's horrible.
The things we do for English. And that was back in the days where it was believed that if you're studying something and you tore the page out, chewed it, and swallowed it, you would learn it. Or if you had your book under your pillow at night, you would learn your stuff.
Yeah.
Osmosis.
Studying.
Yeah.
You what? You pooped it?
Poop my exam, man.
That's right.
Most of my test essays were that. I remember that time. It's like one time on the way to class, I stepped in some dog poop, and I went to the restroom to wash the poop off my shoe, and my history professor walked in to use the restroom, and he said, "You should have saved that for your next test."
What?
That was great. I had the best school. I went to the best school. I love that place.
That's mean.
Anyway, do we have anything more to say about anti-femi Miguel? Magalia. I wish it was pronounced Miguel because I think that's cool. Miguel.
I didn't even know it existed until an hour ago.
Yeah, I know.
My last thought is just that, and I think I don't know I don't think this has to necessarily be organized, but I do see it happening. Is just that it's amazing how often when people are talking about feminism, that they're misrepresenting what feminism is and what feminism is about.
Tell us, mansplain it to us, please.
No, okay, dude, feminism is an entire academic discipline.
I know, I'm joking.
So there's no such ending to the sentence feminism is. But when people talk about it and put it in scare quotes, right? They pull out, here's this quote from this one person. Like they find like the 3 most man-hating quotes from every feminist writer, and they say this is the entirety of feminism, right? And there's just so much, and I think some of it's intentional, but maybe some of it's just misinformed. But there's so much misrepresenting what feminism is and what it's about and what its goals are and how it actually works, that it becomes easy for people to recoil at the, to say, oh, I'm an anti-femi, when nobody's ever actually told them what feminism actually is. Even Taylor Swift, now she's like super feminist and she's awesome. But the first time somebody asked her, are you a feminist? She was like, oh no, I'm not one of those man haters, because that's what she had been told feminism was.
I liked what Hermione said about feminism.
The steady stream of misrepresentation. What did Hermione say?
Hermione was more like, feminism also includes like boys who want to play with dolls.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that.
Sexism hurts men too.
Yeah.
Right. Sexism hurts men too. And that it would sure be nice if that message got out a little more often.
I was listening to one lady say that all penetration is rape.
I remember that. I've heard that before. All penetration is rape. She never got laid.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some clown like that in every field that is saying things like that you can pull out and make any group look ridiculous,
Yeah.
Right.
It was true. That's usually Rob.
It usually is, actually. I am a clown. But I only do it for Milo Yiannopoulos, he used to say this ridiculous stuff.
Oh God, that guy, he's gone. Hasn't he been canceled yet?
He is gone because he defended pedophilia, but
yeah,
he would then backtrack and say, oh, I was just being provocative. I was just trying to get people talking. And that's how he would shield himself from the consequences of the stuff he actually said.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always found that frustrating.
What did he say?
He like got nostalgic about it or something. Like he basically,
like in a Caesar sense?
You know what? You're going to have to look it up. Yeah.
But you might get in trouble if we say it on the show.
He said something along the lines of that for many young gay men, a relationship with an older man is something he started talking nostalgically about being underage and having relationships with older men.
Not when you're underage.
Coming of age thing.
Not when you're underage. No, not when you're underage.
I hope he's okay.
But I think when I would take it from the perspective of an underage person. Like, I was always attracted to much older men when I was young. Of course, I never fucking dated one, but my first crush was Sam Neill when I was like 10 years old. And
from Jurassic Park. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. And you're the age of Lex. And oh my gosh. I mean, I had crushes on my teachers, but that would have been weird if I dated them. Yeah.
It's illegal.
Anyway, that was his comment. That was a bridge too far.
Yeah, too. But yeah. In hindsight, I'm glad I didn't date my teachers.
From that perspective, like from the young perspective, interested in the older, that makes sense. But yeah, if you're older and you're like, it's okay to date a 13-year-old, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's a child.
Yeah.
And I'd have to go look up his comments to see what the context was and stuff like that. But in the end, it was a bridge too far. So all of the people who were like using him to mobilize their culture war attack dogs decided that he was too much at that point.
Yeah. He's an extreme example.
But he would say, "Oh, I'm just being provocative."
Yeah.
In order to not take responsibility for his comments.
And here, though, it's kind of weird that the corporations again buckled so easily to these protests. There was even a guy, a guy that owned a GS25 saying, I am anti-femi. I'm anti-femi.
Yeah.
He posted a sign saying it. I'm anti-femi.
Shop at my store.
Shop at my store.
Not surprising. It's actually not surprising to me because this is not the first time something like this has happened.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different type of case. This is actually, this was actually a sex crime. However, usually digital sex crimes, there's far more women who are victims of it than men. And for years, the police in Korea have just been like, well, it's really hard for us to track these people down, to prosecute, to go after them. It's just, it's impossible because there's so many spy cams and this and that. And then you had a case where there was a male model in an art class at a university posing nude. And one of the female students took a picture on her phone and posted on the internet.
Yeah.
Not even a full day, they had her in the police station.
They moved heaven and earth to make sure she had consequences. Yeah.
That's how it goes. I mean, that's bullshit because I've been in the cyber crimes division of my local police station. I was under investigation just for some comments I made about my ex-boss. They had a document this thick of everything I read on the internet. They were combing through.
Yep. And
I was like, shit that I didn't even know I wrote from way back, like a weird comment on on a food blog site, about a restaurant. They were tracking every comment I did everywhere on the internet. That's bullshit. That they can't do anything.
It didn't matter until it was a guy who was a victim, and
that shows the balance of power here. That's what my point is. It shows the balance of power.
A little bit, like a different situation because this was actually a crime that was committed. Yeah. But same kind of response when it was something that affected men, they jumped on it and were like, when they got it solved so fast, and there were all these protests from women groups because they were like, okay, so what about my digital sex crime that you haven't done shit on for like the last 2 years because you say it's too difficult to track them down?
Yeah.
But
because it got uploaded to Pornhub and they're currently whacking off to it.
Yeah. So it wasn't. Yeah. It's. I mean,
I'm doing this to make Brittany laugh. By the way.
But yeah, and in the groups we're saying it's like it's not that we think that this woman shouldn't be prosecuted because she broke the law, and yes, she should be brought in and prosecuted for what she did. It's just like, why aren't you doing this with the thousands and thousands of other cases that you have, but were brought to you by women?
That's true.
And why didn't you draw a more realistic drawing instead of taking a photo?
Boom. That's it right there. That's it right there. You didn't do the assignment. With that, I think we're going to wrap it up. That was the perfect. That was perfect. That was perfect. So, for Brittany, for people who want to experience your genius, how can they find you in a way they won't stalk you?
BrittanyFanning.com and Instagram at Brittany and Fanning.
At Brittany Fanning?
Brittany N. Fanning.
Brittany N. Fanning.
Yeah.
Please follow. This is really lovely stuff. You're gonna.
Yeah. While we were doing this,
beautiful and disturbing, and it's just. Oh, it's good. It's good stuff.
I love it.
Good stuff.
While we were doing this, I looked up Brittany, and your art is great.
Thank you.
So everybody go look it up.
It's creepy.
we have Rob.
But I love it. I need to
usually
be more
I'm just
so
googling.
Many women love it, and that's what I love. Actually, it's it's helped me make more cool female.
I can pick out your artwork from a lineup. I mean, it's a unique
awesome
style. And I love it that you're going into a really sick direction. I'm looking forward to seeing more of it. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing more of it. Rob, okay, since you showed up, we're going to have to ask how people can find your stuff if you want to promote anything.
I'm on Twitter at Roboseyo, Roboseyo, and these days I'm making podcasts with my friend Eugene at Cafe Soul Podcast. Lately, we've been putting some of our old hits on YouTube, so you can find Cafe Soul Podcast on YouTube, or if you Google it, you'll get to our website, or you can find it in the iTunes store.
Bring Brittany on your show. She'll liven it up.
Maybe we will.
Yeah,
we will.
Yeah.
I'll try to be so hungover from lunch drinking.
Day drinking all day. Well, thank you, everyone. Emma, thank you for everyone for showing. Oh, well, Pippin did not even show up this entire time.
Because I locked him. Wait, hold on. Do I need you want him?
No. That's fine. That's fine. I see your bridal gown, though.
The door. Huh?
You got rid of the toilet paper, and I see the bridal gown. It looks fine.
It's burlesque
I'm always
costume.
always picking on Emma's background.
You're always picking on my background.
I
It's
know.
for a burlesque
I'm
thing.
sorry.
It's not a real wedding dress.
Can't you change your background in your Zoom, Emma? That's like the easiest thing.
Possibly, but I haven't tried.
Choose
What was
your
it?
virtual background.
Okay, this is a funny thing. Is this Republican state senator in the Midwest? Oh, don't do that. That's distracting me way too much.
This is when I tell my students it's okay to change your background, but please don't choose something distracting. This is the one I use.
This is a
It's a real dad joke background.
So state senator is on a Zoom call about a law to ban things that can distract drivers, like ban people from using their phones in the car for distracting drivers. He was doing it from his car, but he's trying to use a background to make it look like he was in his office, but he's wearing a seatbelt.
and he's looking around like
he's doing this. He's looking, checking left and right, and he's wearing a seatbelt, but he's trying to look like he's in his office. while talking about a ban on people using the phone while driving.
Stupid.
I think he made his point.
Well, the thing was, he was against it. He was against the law, but he kind of made the other side's point by the way he was acting.
That's like how I am with drugs. I'm against other people doing them.
That's it too. It's like I like my kid. I don't like other people's kids.
Ugh.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Fair.
Your kid's fine, Rob. Your kid's fine.
But I think that's a reasonable position to hold.
Yeah. All right, everyone. I'm going to close off the show because we're having too much of a good time. Until next time, be safe out there.
All right. See ya. Bye.
All right.
The Soul Podcast is a production of Zen Kimchi International, copyright 2021 under the Creative Commons license. Parts of this podcast may be used for non-commercial purposes if you remember to give us credit. You can contact us at sejong@soulpodcast.com. That's SEJONG@soulpodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at King Sejong and on Facebook at facebook.com/SeoulPodcast. For a transcript of this episode, listen to it again and write down what you hear. See you next week. Until then, may one day your likeness be immortalized on a pair of socks.